Gore readings, flesh wound horror freaks, and welcome back to Slashtober. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd,
Good evening.
Pugs Dread,
Namaste, trick or treat.
and Mike Kruger.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
So, before we get into tonight's gory little delight, Kruger, let them know how Slashtober works.
So what we do for our Slashtober special is rate and review a Halloween-themed film, and then at the end of the episode, we add that movie to a list compiled from our previous episodes to vote and decide which of the films we want to eliminate, leaving us with our top 3 Halloween horror films, aka our 3 final girls. And once we get to the final episode of this season, Slashtober, we will choose one of those final 3 as this season's winner. So Todd, why don't you tell us what movie we have tonight and what this year's Slashtober statistics have been so far?
All right. Well, tonight we have Terrifier up, and it's going to be competing against The Guest, Ernest Scared Stupid, and Cemetery of Terror. Eliminated thus far: The Clown Murders, Stan Helsing, American Fright Fest, Halloween Night, Killer Eye Halloween Haunt, Murder Party, The Pumpkin Carver, and Hack-A-Lantern. So, Dan, why don't you tell us about Terrifier?
All right, so Terrifier is a 2016 film from writer-director Damien Leone, and in this one, we follow a maniacal clown named Art who terrorizes 3 young women on Halloween night, and everyone else who stands in his way. So, very simple synopsis, very simple story. Kruger, what'd you think of Terrifier?
Yeah, I've been a fan of this movie, like an ultra fan, since I first saw it in 2017. I was extremely hyped because of All Hallows Eve. Art the Clown is a character in that, and I'd also seen the short film called Terrifier, which both are brutal as fuck and awesome. And he's just always been an iconic character that I've wanted to see get a feature-length film. And once he did, holy fuck, did it blow me away. I've always absolutely loved this movie. It's probably my favorite modern slasher. If not, it's maybe number 2 behind like Headless. But it's a gory, great time. Art the Clown is one of just the most scary fucking on-screen clowns we've ever gotten, and the way he would just go from this animated goofball to this serious maniacal serial killer is just awesome. And I also like that he's one of those slashers that doesn't just go around just fucking everybody up. He kind of takes an ass whooping, similar to like how Kane Hodder does in Friday the 13th Part 7, where he's getting beat up a little bit, and I've always liked that about him too. But at the same time, he's just brutal as fuck. And the gore in this movie is second to none. Like the hacksaw kill, which I'm sure everybody has seen, or at least seen memes of it. It is the absolute pinnacle of a slasher kill for me. I mean, it's just brutal as fuck, doesn't hold back, is extremely graphic. And
Hot naked chick cut in half. Yeah.
well, and
Vertically.
you get the saw blade through the butt cheeks and everything. I mean, it's brutal and just fucked up. And the kid, but that's not the only thing that's just great about this movie's gore. Like even the opening scene where you see one of Art the Clown's victims, that little interview piece kind of just reminds me of that. I can't remember what talk show it was, but when that one chick got her face ripped off by that chimp. And ironically, Nope kind of took some of that story, but this movie's always reminded me of that, because that interview, when I was a kid and I saw that shit, scared the living shit out of me, and that's what that interview reminded me of. You can nitpick at stuff with this movie, but it's exactly what it sets out to be, and it's just a brutal slasher film. Very simple story, simple concept, but it's just a fun ass fucking ride. And I watch it every Halloween. It's not to say it's the most Halloween movie. I mean, it's one of those movies where it has a little bit of a Halloween feel, but it takes place on Halloween night, and that's the main reason why I've always watched it every Halloween. But still, even at that, it's one of my favorites. I watch it every fucking year. Art the Clown is the shit. This is just a movie that's right up my fucking alley. Always has been. Absolutely love Terrifier. So yeah, that's my review.
Right on. I'm on the same boat, but I do think what hurts it for me is the story. It's very, very light, but it still gives me everything I want, especially the fucking vertical dissection. So, the way art looks is old school black and white. It's just big Marilyn Manson type lips. Just scary. He's just scary to look at, and I dig it. And he's goes like Kruger said, from jovial to super menacing in a blink of an eye. And then one of my favorite parts, besides the dissection, is when he goes full Indiana Jones, and he just, instead of fighting, I'm just going to shoot you.
Yeah. And it's hilarious because it's so out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first saw it, I just started cracking the fuck up because he has this straight, like he's joking around, then has this straight, like, I'm going to kill you look on his face when he pulls out the gun out of nowhere. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I really liked the two lead actresses in the beginning, especially the one in the skeleton skirt thing. Very cool costume. Lovely. So yeah, that's always fun to root for the pretty girl, and you know, sometimes they lose and Art won, so I was happy about that. And the way Art takes himself out, what a G. So yeah, big fan of this movie since the day it came out. Even All Hallows Eve. So I think it rules.
Yeah, count me into that camp. I'll be the first to admit it's a little light on the plot, but it makes up for it in everything else. It's just a good, brutal slasher. I mean, the Ed Gein homage. I mean, how do we, right? It's pretty good. Yeah, but I get why some people get annoyed by it not having enough plot. I know our friend Chris McGibbon's one who the lack of plot bothers him. So,
yeah, I remember reviewing this one, I think, with Chris way back for some reason. So one thing that's unique about Terrifier is, and this doesn't happen that often, at least post 90s, you don't get too many like indie films where a character becomes iconic, and Art the Clown certainly does. That's a small list when you really make it. You know, this is a very small, low budget indie that somehow found a way to endure. You mentioned All Hallows Eve, the first appearance of Art the Clown, also kind of unique, because that one by no means was like some massive success or anything, but again, this character found a way to make it work. The highlight to me for Terrifier is David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown. Yeah. That is a fantastic performance. If he were off, there wouldn't be as much here at all. Like I
agree with that.
We wouldn't be talking about it. He's a very scary character. Having said that, this movie is far from perfect, as you had mentioned. I think actually kind of the opening is kind of weak, personally, and the twist is not even much of a twist. So I think that's the weakest part of the movie, with the girl in the opening and the whole news footage, the news talk show stuff. That part of it I don't think is very good at all. In terms of like, it's a very scary character, but at times they sort of dance around like it being a little bit too over the top and getting more into, I don't know. I see people's issues with this as far as him being a slasher icon, because he does a little bit too crazy to be as scary. Like all of a sudden we're kind of getting into gore camp at times.
Freddy Krueger?
I was going to say, Dad, have you not seen a slasher Freddy?
Well,
Chucky?
And also, you know how I feel about some of the later Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, but Freddy's always around too, though.
I said, this guy's no doubt. Art the Clown is iconic. He's out there. Like I said, very few indie films do this. I think this movie is overhyped in some ways. Yeah, the gore is fantastic. I don't think this is a true like horror classic. I think it's a good gore film.
Would you say cult classic?
I'd call it a slasher classic.
Well, that is definitely.
Yeah, I would go cult over slasher.
I do really enjoy it. It's just it's not this like perfect film. It really.
I don't think anybody argues that.
I don't think that either.
The opening,
and it doesn't set out to be perfect either.
And there's some weak acting, some weak characters. There's no like iconic I don't want to give anything away, but there's no other iconic performances here aside from Art. Everybody else is just fine. Nobody.
Well, everyone else is
out.
really just
disposable.
Well, I
Yeah.
get that.
Is there to support Art.
And
But
how
again,
dare you?
Laurie Strode is not disposable, and I've heard people compare this to Halloween, which I think is dumb. But there's not all slasher movies where everybody but the killer is disposable. I would certainly argue that. I think.
No, but I'm saying that's the point of this one.
This is mindless. This is a totally mindless gore fest. That's not a bad thing. I'm not shitting on this. My rating's going to be very high. But yeah, I don't know. It's just not perfect. There's some makeup too that's not quite great. Also, again, in the opening, I would say it's a little. I don't know.
Great, but
And David Howard Thornton doesn't. He's not the first Art the Clown.
no, there's been 3 actually, I believe.
Yeah.
And the guy that actually plays Art in the Terrifier short, if you love this movie, you got to check out the short. The short's brutal as fuck too. That guy also does a really, really good job. But I just think the character in general, it having that little appearance in All Hallows Eve, and then that short film that came out that just shocked. I mean, at least for me, it shocked the shit out of me. It's just been cool to see it finally build to a character, and then David Howard Thornton has just taken it and ran with it. I cannot wait to see the type of madness that he's going to do in his future performances too. I hope that he gets picked up for other things than just Art the Clown, and I get to see him in more.
I've met him. He's super cool. Very friendly guy. If you ever meet him at a convention, I assume he still has it. Get the Scooby-Doo 8x10 with Daphne getting cut down the middle. It's hilarious.
Oh,
yeah, probably one of the cooler 8x10s I've ever gotten from somebody.
all right. Why don't we rate it then?
Cool.
I mean, there's no fucking surprise. I'm a 5 out of 5.
Right now, I am a hard 4 out of 5.
Dan?
I am a 3.5.
I am a 4.5.
Okay,
All right.
all over the place.
Yeah, well,
Upper
but they're all
echelon.
positive. I mean,
Yeah.
not all above average.
Absolutely.
Todd, you still need to watch fucking Headless because
I know, and
I don't remember you not seeing Headless. Are you fucking serious? Oh no, you saw Found though, right?
No,
No,
Todd
I won't
hasn't
either.
watched either.
Oh,
Before the end of this
Found
October
is-
month,
oh,
I will have watched both. I promise.
Okay.
Found is amazing.
I
yeah, I
agree.
guess
We've
I
had
did.
this
I reviewed
discussion
it.
like 3 or 4 times. So
I'm pretty sure I'm shocked every fucking time.
We are. All right. So up for elimination, The Guest, Ernest Scared Stupid, Cemetery of Terror, and Terrifier. Kruger, what do you say?
I'm gonna go with Ernest for
Bugs,
sure.
what do you say?
As much as it fucking pains me, out of all of these 3, the one that felt the least Halloween to me was Ernest Scared Stupid. So I'm going that one.
All right. I'll go with The Guest.
Yeah, I'm the guest.
Oh,
All
Surprised
right.
you went Ernest. I thought you'd go with another movie.
it's the one that felt the least Halloween for me, dude. Like it's not enough because that's also a criteria to move along.
Yeah, I think it's the
Which-
whole movie for me on that one.
That's the
though.
problem. I'm like
That doesn't
stuck
go
on
for me.
all of these.
But
Yeah.
to me, like Ernest, the Halloween plot is just as much as it's used in the story as like a plot device, just like it is in The Guest with the fucking school dance. So
There's more Halloween in Ernest.
I
so-
just fucking agree 1,000%.
Actually, even with my love for Ernest, I have to disagree with you too, Dan. Because again, the end. The guest starts off with old school Halloween decorations in the background, and then it crescendos with the big haunted house maze dance thing
that's for like
And with-
25 minutes of the fucking movie.
with
too.
Halloween 3 imagery everywhere. That screams Halloween. You're crazy.
Yeah, for a tiny portion of the movie. I agree.
And the same can be said with Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
I think there's more mood in Ernest, but I mean, again, we're talking 2 very different films, obviously. But
Yes.
so I don't know.
You know what? I'm
Fine.
changing my answer. I'm Cemetery of Terror. It didn't have a lot of Halloween either.
That's what I thought you guys were going to eliminate. Actually, I was surprised.
I know it doesn't matter for anything now that I'm looking. I see. My problem is all of these I could vote for. I could vote for any of them to stay or any of them to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna throw Dukes with Terrifier.
And honestly, I would
Okay.
argue out of these, The Guest has just as much Halloween content as the rest of them. because Ernest Scared Stupid is arguable. I think that would either be the second or not. Cemetery of Terror is super low.
Yeah.
Terrifier is super low.
Yeah, I
So-
thought you guys take out Cemetery there.
So with
Right.
that, it's well,
Well, Ernest is gone then. So
yeah.
That
All
pains
right.
me.
Ernest gets bisected by a saw blade through the butt cheeks.
all right.
So,
Wow.
Guys, be sure to tune in to
Bums me out.
next cemetery, our next cemetery, our next
Cemetery.
Slashtober.
Bugs, you know what you had to do to keep it.
Yeah, that's not happening. Yet, anyway,
I'm curious to what that entails, but
it's a certain vote. Yeah.
let's get the fuck out of here, Dan. Let's take us home.
All right, guys, tune in next time. Good night.
Good evening.
Stay sick, motherfuckers.
Check your candy. I'll see you in Disneyland.